Smile and Andy video. Okay, this one's the red button. Curious that he bring this up. I'd like to do the green button metaphor or thought experiment. And, if you're going to ask direct questions and expect answers, I'd like to ask the direct question. If you could press a green button that was going to create little green Martians on Mars, with the same mechanism that we have here, like 99.99% of the sentient life would be living in some sort of natural carnage, where 99% of their children die before they reach maturation, and and then have some, superior Martian, some better Martian animals, beings, who did a lot of pretentious walking around thinking they were all great stuff because they could add 2 plus 2, and and watched American Martian, whatever, Idol Martian, or whatever, Best Martian singing asshole, Best Martian to hammer a nail into a piece of wood show, whatever. They tried to fly to the Martian moon, but they couldn't find it, so they gave up on that. But they would have done it if they couldn't find it, so they couldn't do it. But anyway, would you press that button to initiate that Martian existence? Let's get in two ways. Would you do it if you had to start with abiogenesis 4 billion years ago and let all of the Martian critters evolve to create that great Martian thingy with the nuclear bomb in one hand and the baseball scorecard in the other hand, or some kind of bullshit like that? An Olympics, a flag from the Olympics in one hand and a nuclear bomb in the other. Would you press that little green button? Yeah, I'd like the answer to that question. Alright, so anyway, he's asking the red button. He's saying, okay, so this is a red button video. So let's understand first. Well, let him speak, and then we'll point out the obvious game playing here.
It's the red button.
Exciting. The.
Sit with antinatalist down in the chair at the control panel. Leave and close the door. What goes through said antinatalist's mind as you walk out? Assuming they didn't just press it immediately without any pause to reflect whatsoever.
Pause to reflect, so you're just surprising the antinatalist. You're just giving them all of a sudden this bonus moment. You just show up and say, okay, we're going to go to the red button laboratory now, and they can just have time to grab their last day on Earth hat or something, and now they're going to be making the decision, blah blah blah. So what goes through their mind? This is somehow important, but okay, let's say what would go through their mind. Like, okay, yeah, I've thought about something my entire life, just about, and I've advocated for a certain behavior, like I'm pro seatbelt, and you're basically asking, well, what will the guy who's pro seatbelt do when he gets into a car? Will he put the seatbelt on? Yeah, I guess he probably will. I'm pro birth control, so I guess I use birth control. See, get how it works? Yeah. I'm an anti-natalist. Okay? And it's not even anti-natalism, let's be clear, okay? Let's be fair to most anti-natalists. I'm an ethicist. So I think life is basically broken from its very core. The whole mechanism is crap. Okay? They're just stupid need machines, and they don't need to exist, which is really important. So they're just mess makers. And yeah, they clean up some of it, but they leave behind more mess than they clean up, which makes them a not-for-profit organization in the sense that they're not making a profit. They're running a deficit. Life runs a deficit. Life is a failed experiment. Life is insufficiently efficient. That's the conclusion. I've already drawn the conclusion. I don't need to think about the conclusion. And again, the subject is anti-natalism are saying don't reproduce. They're saying don't have babies. I personally don't think they're going to decide not to have babies before their inevitable destruction from war or some other method. Okay, natural disaster or war is going to drive us back into the Stone Age. We're going to live, all of us are going to live like the Afghanis. We're going to live in shit. All right, and you're going to go back to dog fighting, and you're going to go back to all kinds of tribal shit, and you're going to be assholes. And so, yeah, it would be my privilege to hit the button. But the subject of antinatalism isn't the subject of the red button. The red button was just a thought experiment invented to test how certain people were that life was fail.
What goes through that antinatalist's mind? I'll answer my own question. We have no idea, and we will never know because consciousness doesn't work like that.
Okay, now that statement is just silly. I mean, you think consciousness doesn't work like that? You mean typical humans maybe don't work that way? But I've made 4,000 videos explaining the thoughts that go through my brain. How the hell could you not know what goes through my brain? I have blueprinted every nuance of it. I have explained it as can be. I've consolidated into 15-minute videos explaining ephilism. And in those 15-minute videos, you can glean exactly the logical process that gives me this end conclusion. That it's a zero-sum game, which means you can only gain the zero if you're perfect. We're far from perfect, so we are running in the red. It's a deficit, and it can't be anything else. You can never gain enough. You could never even get above the zero to make some gain to pay your past debt, let alone end the deficit spending. You're never going to pay back what you owe, just like the American government.
Unfortunately, though, that question is pretty much central to the entire antinatalist thing, at least.
I don't think it has anything to do with the antinatalist thing. I mean, it really doesn't. The idea is the antinatalism is about human procreation. The argument's been made that ephilism is about the procreation of sentient life, the continuation of sentient life on Earth. Now, there's lots of ways the existence of sentient life can be discontinued. The simplest way is to stop making more of them. That's the easiest, simplest, straightest line, good way to do it. No harms, no fouls. No trespasses against anybody's right to life. Okay? It's just a trespass against their non-existent right to impose life. To press green buttons. Right? You press the green button first, and that's why people have to press the red button, is because you asshole keep pressing the green button. You just never want to account for your deliberate pressing of the green fucking button. Leave an asshole in a room, of the typical asshole, in a room where there's only a green button. And the green button causes a bunch of animated life forms who feel sensations that compel them to do things that sometimes they know are even wrong logically, and they still are compelled to do them, and be through an addiction mechanism, and they're going to keep pressing this green button. Why do they do that? What motivates them? Oh, that's right, a big fat hairy ego. Located somewhere near their anus.
Benatarian antinatalist thing.
Again, so to slander Benatar with the red button thing, there's no red button in Benatar. Okay, so this is bullshit. Alright, it's about natalism. It's in the damn word, anti-natalism. It isn't like pro-red buttonism, it's anti-natalism. You want to talk the red button shit, come to my house, fella.
Why would someone press that button? What are their motives?
Well, again, if you can't, is this a sincerely asked question? I mean, do I really have to do another ephilis video right in your face and say, well, these are the reasons? It's called the DNA molecule. It's called replication for the sake of replication. It's called creating needs that don't need to exist. It's called the asymmetry, which is Benatar's contribution. This is a failed experiment. This is opening the door to harm for no good reason. We don't accomplish anything. The question is, if we did blow it all to heck, how would it be any different than the missing Martians or the missing Saturnites or the missing Plutonians? How would the universe be any more deprivated by the absence of the Earthlings? Oh, that's right. There's no possible deprivation. There's no possible migration to a negative state because there's absolutely nothing wrong with being non-existent.
It matters. We'll never know.
It matters. I don't know what that means. It matters. Yeah, of course, every time you do something serious that implicates other people, it matters. So when you press the green button, when you impose life, when you enforce somebody to invest in your delusions, I think you believe in an afterlife. You quoted, what, Socrates, because he said at the end of his life that somehow, I think I'll live forever, or whatever. You believe in some sort of bullshit. You think your soul goes somewhere. You think your arrangement of neurons is somewhere permanently fingerprinted and it's going to float through the universe going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You think it's going to do that? I don't think it is. Okay? So I don't have, but to ask me what my motives are, like I said, I've already explained the motives. I don't like the look of red ink. Red ink is illogical and stupid. And so I will do what the red ink, what you're obligated to do when you know the bottom line says, net equals red number. Well, you say discontinue the experiment and you press the red button. It's the discontinue button. It's the turn the car off because it's eating more gas and there's no road to drive on.
But it matters.
Well, again, I'd say fine, it matters. Well, okay, whatever. What matters is that there's a reason. And again, people articulate reasons. You want to call them liars? You want to say somehow you don't have any way to test the veracity of what they're saying? What, do you somehow doubt me when I say that I don't like harm? I wouldn't live these lives, therefore I can't justify those lives being produced because in essence I'm putting myself at the same jeopardy. That's how I got here, is because no one stopped my existence. I'm here because no one stopped them from making me be here. And the only way I can prevent them from existing is somebody has to stop them. So I will stop them. You don't understand that simple logic?
Agree. If you do, why? If not, why not?
So do you agree that it matters? I mean, in the end, does it matter? No. What the motives are? No. What matters is it a good thing or a bad thing that the button was pressed? That's all that really matters. Right? Is it to the net benefit of sentient existence, or is it to the net deficit to the welfare of sentience? To exist or to not exist? My conclusion is it's to the net benefit of sentience overall not to exist. Just as the Martians don't exist and they're doing just fine not existing. It's a good way to be, to not exist. Existing is stupid. It's pointless. It's being manipulated by a Borg DNA molecule compelled to behave for no purpose other than to justify the circular logic of nature. It's circle of life bullshit. It's eating its own ass. It's stupid. If I saw something eating its own ass, I'd say, shoot that thing. It's broken. It's retarded. But does it matter? No. And you would also answer, it doesn't matter, I would imagine, Smiling Charlie. And Rose Bushy, I'll throw you in here also, right? Because you're the one who says there's no trauma once you're dead. So once you're eliminated in a split second, as is the red button scenario, you're vaporized. That's like that fast. There's no one around to say, oh, shucks. So I guess there can't be harm that way. It's not like somebody's going to say you look fat. By the way, you look a little chubby. No one's going to do that, so you either can't have hurt feelings. You don't have any feelings, so you couldn't have hurt feelings. You don't have a brain, so I guess you couldn't contemplate how ripped off you were. So I don't know, what is the harm exactly? Could you describe to me the problem if human life doesn't exist on Earth? Can you give me an outline of what the problem with our non-existence is, and why somehow everybody's not concerned about the problem of Martians not existing? I mean, could you answer direct questions or no? No, I guess not. No chance of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There, should I do that? You're welcome. I mean, I'll do that after my videos. You're welcome. You are welcome. Maybe I'll do that. You look marvelous. Except you're ugly as fuck. No, I won't do that. It'll hurt their feelings. So anyway, yeah, so would you press the green button? Would you do it? Would you press the little green button and have 4 billion years of little robots evolving on Mars, and then 500 million years where they're going ouch as they get gobbled up, and as they watch their children get gobbled up right before their eyes? 9 out of 10 of them. 9 out of 10 humans a million years ago, 9 out of 10 humans didn't make it to their 10th birthday. That's the attrition rate out in that reality that we came from, shithead. Is it worth it? Was all that grief worth American fucking Idol and little pictures of Martian moon rocks? Was it all worth it? All the people who died of smallpox, I mean the most insidiously awful way to die. Was it worth it? The Black Plague, not a good way to die either. Really nasty shit. Was it all worth it? All the men who suffered rotten in the cold, wet trenches in World War I. Was it worth it? Huh? Would you impose it on the Martians? Let them have a couple of world wars and be sitting on the brink of World War III? Would you give them that lovely, jolly, fun, good time? Even though they have, like, Disney Martian? Is Disney Martian with a little, it's a small world after all, little singy-song ride? Is that really worth it? Huh? Does that make up for one victim of World War II? Little singy-song ride? Would you agree? Would you sign the contract to impose death on a young 20-year-old boy in World War I in a cruddy trench of influenza? You know, he dies of something stupid in the war. Would you sentence him to that death, that suffering, to have the It's a Small World ride at Disneyland? Would you do that? Would you sign that contract? Would you press that green button? Let's go green with that. Huh? Would you? I know. I'm starting to get southern. Hell with that. So anyway, snarky. Yeah, this is just more bullshit. Like I said, I'm the one that started the red button shit, not Benatar. So don't be slandering him with that shit. That's me. I brought that crap up just to deal with the jackasses. I might as well talk a little bit about it because somebody else brought it up, and even the Determinist one did a response video, and he kind of questioned the whole idea of resorting to something like that, and you know, even the whole idea of extorting other nations to play along. And no, that's the game. All right, it's all or nothing. There's nuclear power or there's not nuclear power. And if you keep letting people build nuclear power plants, well, guess what? There was no point in having an election. There was no point in winning the election. There's no point in anything because you've lost, because you've exposed yourself to the risk. I mean, it's all or nothing. I mean, I don't care whether we flip a coin. I don't care what we do. But, I mean, it's got to be resolved. There's no middle here. There's no half pregnant. All right? Either all the way pregnant or you're all the way not pregnant. But you ain't going to be half pregnant. You ain't gonna be. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden Southern. But anyway, yeah, so whatever. The red button thing is my thing because I know the human race is likely going to fail at doing the right thing. It doesn't do the right thing. It tends to do the wrong thing. It tends to do the wrong thing for a long time, and we just don't have time. If I thought we were going to be around as a civilized human race for 100 years, I'd say, okay, fuck the red button shit. We don't even talk about it. But I really don't think we are. I don't think civilization is going to survive. I think the human race is going to torture billions of people. I think it's going to kill them hard. It's going to starve them to death. It's going to gun them down. It's going to drone them into the dirt. And then it's going to nuke them. That's what the human race is going to do on this fucking planet, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's fucking inevitable behavior. Pretty much. Okay, there's a slim chance, very slim window of opportunity to slide through here. Just the slightest little slit to get through, to not end up with that destiny. So yeah, if I got a chance to get the job done, quick, fast, easy, and inexpensively, I'm taking it. But it's not my preference. My preference is that all the human beings go, yes, I understand that. It's perfectly logical. I will live my life and I will fornicate funly, and I will even go on a Disneyland park ride where they sing little trivial songs, and I will enjoy it. But I will not impose life on other sentient beings that may not find it satisfactory at all. They might not enjoy little puppets singing little trivial songs, and they might not like baseball. And they might not find anything about our culture or civilization to be the least bit cultural or civilized. They might think we all smell like ass. And I wouldn't want to impose that on them because that would be motherfucking cunt rude. Now, it'd be nice if the human race could grow up and say something like that, but we know it's not too likely. Not for that bottom half. Now, the top half might get it. But those little bottom feeders, the fucking creeps, the fucking morons eating the shit right now, living in the cesspools right now, okay, are only thinking like, me hungry. You know, I mean, really just as dumb as dirt. Well, those fuckers aren't gonna get it because they think God invented them. And they think God told them, go make baby. And they think that's how it works. So yeah, those fuckers aren't going to play along. You know, they're going to have to just get swatted in the end. And that's just a fact, and I'll fess up to it. And I don't have any problem doing it. Because they're just not worth the trouble. They have a brain, and they've decided to turn it into absolute shit. Okay? They've eaten shit. They've accepted this shit. They've swallowed this shit. They've turned themselves into shit. Not complicated. They're as broken gets because they don't have any logical function. Yeah. I mean, it's like a 286 computer. It just doesn't have any utility. Alright, that's enough. Okay, till next time. And such.